Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It's the last Tuesday in May. How crazy is that? Let me double check and make sure that we are live in the right place. Make sure you say hello and let me know you're here. It has been a bit of a cold day today. Cold and rainy and dreary. Not my kind of weather. Spring, it's supposed to be warm, right? All right, I think we are good. We'll give everyone a minute or two to jump on, and then we will get started. I have a really fun card for you tonight. It's a little modification. Hey, Tracy. A little modification on a popular card you've seen me make lots and lots of times, which is a Z-fold card. And this was shared by a fellow demonstrator, and I'm like, mind blown. Why didn't I think of that? Hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day. Remembered what it was intended for besides just hot dogs and hamburgers. Of course, those are good too. Ours was busy, but here at home. We didn't go anywhere. We just did a lot of things here at home. Hi, Diana. But it was nice. I felt so accomplished when it was all done with. I'm like, whoo, not caught up, but I have a lot still to do. But it just felt good to check some things off of our to-do list. So we'll wait just another minute, and then we'll jump in. What am I looking for? Ah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. I think we are good. It was a good weekend to do some crafting, which I did do. Made some cards for a swap that I am participating in, which is always fun. There's Miss Terry. Swaps are great. I love to do them when I have time, but it's a great way within the stamping community, with on my team and of course other crafters, where you make a stack of cards, usually under a theme or with some guidelines. Like this one was new catalog product, new online exclusives, new colors, anything new that was released this month. And the idea is that you get back cards. So in this case, it was a 10 plus 1, which meant I made 10 to swap. And then 1 goes to the lady who is organizing the swap. And then I'm going to get back 10 cards that are all different, where I'm sending her 11, 10 plus 1 that are all the same. I'm going to get back 10 cards that are all different, and hopefully are new ideas I've never seen before, or stamp sets, etc., that I don't yet have or didn't think I needed. And so it's a great way to have those samples and new fun folds, etc. So I haven't done one in a while. I did do some swapping, which is different, when we went to On Stage in March, but I haven't done any where I mailed them out, so to speak. So I'm excited to see what I get back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get started. Today is Tuesday, May the 27th. Yep, 2025, the last Tuesday in May. Oh my gosh, I was just saying it's almost May and now it's almost June. My grandbaby is turning 1 year old this week. I'm going to Pittsburgh this weekend. with my oldest daughter and my sister-in-law. My son and his girlfriend are going, and there's going to be a big first birthday party. So we are very excited. I can't wait to get him. He's talking up a storm. He's pretty much walking short steps, like 3 or 4 at a time, but put something in front of him that he can push, and he is everywhere, everywhere. So I'm like, okay, can't wait to get my hands on him. We went to eat dinner just a little bit ago, and the table next to us was having a graduation party, and there was a little boy who was not quite 2, and I just wanted to scoop him up. He was so cute. His name was Weston, and he kept showing me his spoon. He was eating ice cream cake, and he wanted to share. So I thought that was so sweet. It just made me want to get to Pittsburgh even quicker. All right. So, hey, Linda. So let me just quickly remind you of some of the things that are going on. Of course, we have our brand new catalog. If you are not working with a demonstrator and you need a copy, I do not charge for them. So just let me know and I'll be happy to get one to you. We have new online exclusives that went live at the beginning of the month. We have 2 new kits, which are both gorgeous. We have new in colors. There's just a lot of new things going on. In addition, we have a new join special. I always say that the starter kit is the best deal of them all, and it truly is. It's an awesome deal. But right now, instead of $125 in product, you can get $165 in product for $99. Now, I did a little email and sent it out as a reminder, and I broke it down for you so that you could see how much you would save if you purchase the starter kit versus purchasing $165 in product, having to pay shipping, et cetera, et cetera. And it comes up to be almost $90. So it's a great savings. And of course, absolutely no obligation. So I have a lot of information posted here on the group. Like I said, I sent out an email within the last day or 2. And then I have a whole page about it on my DonnaStamps.com website. If you click on the join now at the top, there's a whole page about all the perks of being a demonstrator, goodies you get from Stampin' Up, but also all the things that I offer from for my team. And most of my teammates and team members are all happy shoppers. They enjoy getting a discount. They don't do classes or any kind of event. All types of crafters are welcome. And if you, like I said, have a large wish list, this is a great time to be able to get some of those and get more for less. But that ends at midnight on May 31st. So you only have about 4 more days to take advantage of that. And if you've been a demonstrator in the past, you could sign up again. Doesn't matter, like I said. And at the end of your preliminary period, if you haven't met the minimum for the quarter, that's okay. You take your box and all your goodies and you convert back to being a customer. So again, lots of perks for being a demonstrator. And we have a new mini catalog coming out very soon, plus new online exclusives. And one of the perks I love is that we get to see product early and we get to order it and play with it and have it before it goes live. So if you went in on all those secrets, talk to me. Okay. Club Cove for the month of June. Registration is open for that right now. I am working on the samples. I will have a picture posted here in the next day or 2. I'm hoping to get them finished before I leave on Friday. But it's going to feature the Sweet Jar bundle. Love this one. There's lots of options that we can do with it. It is a punch. So Club Cove is my monthly subscription. If you don't want to sign up, but it sounds good and you want to do this class, you absolutely can. And you'll find all of that information, of course, up on DonnaStamps.com as well. You get anywhere from $22 to $25 on product. It's $30 per month if you want to pick it up, or $38 if you need me to ship it, and I can ship it anywhere in the U.S. I actually have kits almost done for this month. hoping to get them in the mail before I leave. Promise, hope, trying. But I have some going all the way to Washington State. So I am excited to be able to share across the country, and I can do that for you as well. Let's see what else. As far as events upcoming, there are two. First is a week from Sunday, which is June the 8th, and that is my annual BOGO sale. That is from 1 to 4 at the Marine Corps League, where I hold my Stamp-A-Stack. And I have all my retired product out, plus some. And for every $1 you spend, you get equal value in the new catalog or the online exclusives. It's totally up to you. So again, it's from 1 to 4. There's no cost to come. You just show up and shop up a storm. Now, I will tell you that this is a popular event that I do every year, and people are usually lined up at the door at 1 o'clock. So if you can, come at 1 because you'll have a better selection than if you wait and come closer to the end. Okay. What else? Oh, and then our next card buffet is going to be on June 14th, which is, I think, the second Saturday. Yeah, second Saturday. We have 2 sessions, one from 9 to 12 and one from 1 to 4. We're going to have about 12 to 16 cards to pick from. They're $3 each, and you make as few or as many as you want. You don't necessarily have to register for either of these events. They're both up on DonnaStamps.com, but it does help myself as well as myself and Cassie for Card Buffet to know how many people are coming, so we make sure we prep enough. Okay? All right. So again, if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. Now, make sure you're commenting, saying hello, letting me know you're here. Hello, hello to everyone. And of course, your name will go into a drawing for the project that we did last Tuesday. And we used all the new in colors and this is called Layered Greetings, I believe. I love this because, you know, it's two-toned or double fonts, and I love double fonts. But it's just a hot dog style card. But you can see all those beautiful colors. So got everybody's name here that commented. And of course, you can comment during the live. If you watch the replay, you can comment. But your name will go in, like I said, to get this. So let's see who is going to get this. This is going to go to Tracy. So Tracy, I have, of course, your information. I will get that ready for you. And then if you share my video, please type the word shared in all capital letters. Because of privacy, I can't always see who it is that actually shared, but your name will go into this drawing, and this will be for a stack of cards out of my stash. And this is going to go to Cheryl Harrington. So Cheryl, I have your address, and I will get that ready for you. And then, of course, if you place an order in my online store that is $35 or more before shipping and tax, I will, not only do you get 10% in host rewards, but I will send you a thank you gift. And for the month of May, it was the 25 to 27 in color flat pearls. I love these so much. There are actually 5. You can't see the one that's hidden up here. But I will send these to you free. Now, I do order these at the end of the month. So it's usually the first week or two, depending on, so sorry, my nose is itching, on availability, that I get those out to you. So I don't want you to think if you place an order at the beginning of the month that I've forgotten you. I have not. I know exactly who has placed orders. And like I said, I will place the order on the last day of the month to get those to come in. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh, my nose. You would think I'm sitting in ragweed all of a sudden. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down. And we are going to jump in. You're going to love this card. And I'm going to be using paper and stamp set that I am addicted to lately. It is probably one of my favorites in the new catalog. It's the Impressions of Bloom, We used the Designer Series paper last time. And this does have a, this is an online exclusive, and it does have these gorgeous dies. We are not going to be using the dies tonight. If you signed up for Club Cove for the month of May, this is the bundle. And oh my gosh, the cards are gorgeous. I can't wait for you to see them. But we're just going to use the stamp set tonight. But again, you will love these if you get them. And then here is the much loved paper. You can see I've kind of got it all chopped up. But I love the fact that not only is it all these beautiful florals, but on the backs, there are some solids that you could easily use for all kinds of different projects. Let me see if I've got the other one. I think there's one more. Yeah, stripes. So lots of choices here that you can do, but a gorgeous paper pack. Just love this. And don't forget about the last chance list. Things are still out there and available, but of course they are all while supplies last. So if there's something that you wanted that was recently put on the quote-unquote retired list, you want to keep checking that and make sure that you get it sooner than later. Okay, so we are going to be using this stamp set, and then for our sentiments, we're going to be using a brand new stamp set out of the annual catalog. This is called The Right Words, and I can't say enough great things about this. This is one of the stamp sets or types of stamp sets that I love, because not only do you have a main sentiment, but you also have sentiments that you can use on the inside. So you have one on the front, one on the back. So like, for example, here's happy birthday, and then in the same font, to someone worth celebrating every single day. So I love the fact that you have both. You're not having to pull from two different stamp sets in order to incorporate. So I think you're going to really like how this one comes together. All right. Now, we're going to start with a piece of Misty Moonlight. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Now, I've made Z-fold cards lots of times. You've watched me do that. And basically, you fold your card in half, and then you fold that flap back onto itself, and it creates a Z. Okay, so that's where that Z fold comes into play. Okay, now I do like to burnish things extra well when it's a fun fold, and I'm going in both directions to kind of break down those fibers so that it lays a little flatter. Okay, so that's our card base. Then you're going to need some basic white. This piece is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. We need a piece of fresh freesia. This is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and I have embossed it with a brand new embossing folder that goes with this suite. This is called Pressed Petals. Say that 4 times. Okay, and this is just how gorgeous it is. I love these stems, okay? And what I like about this one is it looks good both ways. So whether you want to use the debossed as your main point, or you want to use the raised embossed piece, it just looks great either way. So we're going to have that one. You need 2 basic white circles. These are the largest from the Stylish Shapes, one of my favorite die sets ever. And then you need some Designer Series paper. So you need one piece that is 4 by 10 1/2, and you're going to score it in half at 5 1/4. You need a strip that is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then you need another strip that is 1/2 by 3 3/4. And you want to have all of your DSP be the same paper or at least coordinating. Okay, so I'm actually going to use this piece this way, but the other two I'm going to use this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, and our color palette is going to be Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, Pool Party, and what is the other one? Pecan Pie. So I'm going to first start here and do my stamping, and then we will put things together. So we have these two. This is my inside piece, okay? And what I want to do first is I want to stamp on this one. And again, all of these stamps for the sentiments is coming from the right words. I'm going to do this first in Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to do Thinking of You right in the center, okay? We're going to do some stamping around it here in a second. Then I have one also for the second circle that says, I wish I had the right words for a time like this. I have a friend who is going through some things right now, and I just saw these words and thought this is perfect for her. So I'm going to put that down toward the bottom. And then on the inside piece, it says, but just know how much I love and care about you. So again, I love how the words kind of carry through everything we're doing. Okay. So let me go ahead and clean those. I still need this, but I want to clean these words just so I do not put my arm in Misty Moonlight. Although it would match my shirt, I don't really want to get ink all everywhere. Okay. All right, so now I want to dress these up a little bit. So I'm going to bring in a piece of grid paper. And on these two, I'm going to stamp some of our flowers. Okay? And I want them, I'm going to put them both side by side because I am going to be doing some stamping off, etc. Okay, so I'm going to start first with Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to do the larger flower, okay? And I'm going to do this in 2 tones, so I want to stamp off. And then I'm just going to put that one right up here, okay? Now, while I have this ink pad out, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this one, just like that, okay? Now, my pads are extra juicy, so sometimes you'll get some blotching, but that's okay because we're actually going to put this overlay on top. I am not stamping off. I need to pull it down here in front of me a little better. And put that across the top. I just love how this looks with this overlay. And I try to mount my stamps in the same direction so that when I do go to stamp, I know exactly where things go. Okay, so I've got that one. Then we're going to do our, let me move you out of the way. No, I think I'm done with you. Okay. Then I'm going to grab the next size flower with my Misty. That's my overlay. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to stamp off. And I didn't like the way that felt. Okay, and I am going to put this one right here. And then on this one, stamp off. And I'm going to do 2. And I'm kind of turning this just so I can get it to fit within where my words are. Okay, just like that. All right. And then we'll do the same thing. And again, I can see where that one kind of juts out. And I've got my threesome here. Okay. And then this one goes here. That's the only thing about turning it is you just kind of have to watch. There we go. All right. And then we'll do this one. Again. And it's okay if they overlap slightly. There we go. Okay, so that's those. And we are done with him. And then we'll pull in our pool party. And for our pool party, I have my smaller ones. Same premise here. We're going to stamp off. And then we'll put him over here. And actually, I want to do a second one down here. Okay. Stamp off. We'll do one there. One here. And I'm actually taking the colors right from the Designer Series paper, so I don't really have to think about it too much. I can just kind of run with it. Okay. And I typically will use I kind of find what I consider an odd shape, one that either sticks out further, etc., so that when I turn my stamp, I know where to put it. But then, in addition to that, I use my center, so my circle in the center, to kind of pull everything together. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, but close. And the way that these stamps lay, you get very pretty impressions any way you go. Got that. Okay. And then I'm going to use pecan pie. And there are actually 2 centers in this stamp set. A solid and then kind of an overlay. I am only going to use the overlay. And I've got the large one that will fit, of course, inside here. And then I'm going to use the smaller one over here. Let's move you out of the way. And I am going to stamp over there just because there's just a bit there. Okay, so that's all the stamping we're going to do. So let me close this. All right, so let me move that out of the way. Got my blocks out of the way. Okay. So now let's bring everything in. I'm going to start with my little piece here. And we will add, where's my adhesive? I decided over the weekend when I was making cards that I was going to only use liquid glue. Well, let's just say that within a matter of a couple of minutes, I was done using just liquid glue. What did I do with my scissors? Okay, I'm about to do a no-no, but I'm taking them to get sharpened, so it'll be okay. I don't normally cut paper with my ribbon scissors, and I always tie a little ribbon on them. Oh, I see them way over there. Okay, well, we'll just work with that. So there's that. Then for our Z-fold, okay, we're going to take that strip that's 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, the printed DSP, and we're going to add this to the front panel. Okay. Just like this. Then the piece that we embossed is going to go on this second panel right here. Now, I will tell you that this embossing folder, even though it is not a dynamic folder, it does cut or emboss, but cut pretty sharply into the cardstock. So you want to be really careful moving it around. Like, I need to add some adhesive under here. And, okay, let's do it this way. I'm not going to lift it up. Are you kidding me? Well, let's just add a tad bit of adhesive. Normally, I wouldn't do that. But you want to make sure that these edges are all the way down, just like that. All right, let's put this back on. All right, so that's that. Now, we have that piece that was 4 by 10 1/2, and this is kind of the surprise piece, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to fold this in half and burnish it. We're going to open it up, and we are going to add this piece to the inside, okay? Now, I put that on there, and I wish I hadn't, but that's okay. Let me see if I can pull it off. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, maybe. After I put it down, I changed my mind. Okay, let's put it this way. You know, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. If you do not have one of these, you need one. This is kind of like a gum eraser. Stampin' Up! Used to sell them. We don't anymore. You can get them at the DT store, the Dollar Tree. But it will literally take off any adhesive that you have anywhere. Now, I will tell you that it works on liquid glue also, but you need to wait for it to dry or at least be tacky. So like if it had seeped out of the edge and I wanted to clean up the edge, you can easily do that, but wait until it's no longer liquid, that it's actually kind of dried before you try to do it. Otherwise, you will have a mess. Okay, so I've added my piece to the inside, okay? And now this is going to lay over here on this side, okay? So this is kind of the surprise of the card. Make sure you're putting adhesive on the right side. I'm going to go ahead and add all the way across, more so just because this card's going to have some movement. And that way I know it's down good. All right. We're going to add that here. just like that, okay? So now when our card is folded, you can see why you want to make sure that your papers are the same, okay? Now we've got those 2 circles, okay? My thinking of you is going to be on my front. So what I want to do with this one is I want to put it right here somewhere, and I'm going to put it in the center. But again, this is one of those that you can move around as you like. If you wanted to add another circle behind this to give it some pop, you could. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it straight away right down, okay, like that, okay? Then for our other one, we're going to come and put this here like this, okay? And it's going to actually cover up the other one. So what I like to do is we're going to put it up on dimensionals. I like to flip it over, make sure it's going the right direction. It is. Okay. And then I'm only going to put dimensionals over on this side. So I can kind of line those up where I want them. You've seen me do this before. But this way, I know I have everything lined up. And I don't have adhesive from the dimensionals where I don't want it. Okay, flip it over. I need to bring it to me just a little bit so I can kind of see what I'm doing. There's that. Okay. And then I have some of the iridescent faceted gems. And I'm just going to add a couple of these onto the front here. Let me take that one up. I just noticed I had a little bit of fresh freesia right there. So we're going to cover him up. Let me grab my adhesive again. Grab that little speck right there. And then we'll put one more up here, if I can hold on to them. Now, you can dress this up as much as you want. You can use squares. You can use whatever image you want on the front. But then what you end up with is this. So here's your Z-fold, right? And that's typically what we see in a Z-fold. You can also do a Z-fold and fold this way so it opens. But typically, your Z-fold works like this, okay? But then you have this extra little surprise where you can add additional wording. You could put a piece of white up here if you wanted. But I just love how you don't expect that pattern or that panel. So, and you can also do it this way as well and do it the exact same way. So that when it opens, of course, your Z-fold will open over here, but you'll cut your designer series paper to be doubled this way. So your flap will open up. And I'll do one of those later and post that so you can see that. But isn't that fun? I just love this. And then here's another one that I did with my other favorite designer series paper. And again, kind of the same premise. Okay, I used the Damask embossing folder on the white. And then this one has that same pop-up. Okay. So again, I know everyone's got designer series paper. Here's a great way to be able to use that up and also show it off. So I hope you like that and we'll give it a try. One thing I forgot to tell you earlier is my intent is still to go live on YouTube. Soon we have 49 subscribers. We need 50. So if you have not yet had an opportunity to go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel, there's a link here on the page to do that. I would greatly appreciate it. That way we can move over there. Everything will be saved for eternity. And everything will be in the right direction. It drives me nuts when I'm looking at the replay, etc., and everything is backwards. So again, we're going to do that as soon as we can, maybe next week. But again, if you have not subscribed, I greatly appreciate it. So everyone have a great rest of your week. I can't wait till next week so I can fill you in on all of the fun I had this weekend with my grandson. And if you need anything, let me know. Be sure if you're interested in the starter kit that you take care of that sooner than later, because it does end on Saturday night at midnight. So thanks again for being here. I greatly appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.